KC, we run the ring, we run the yard, we run it all. Kansas, what you screaming out? KC, we run the ring, we run the yard, we run it all. Kansas, what you screaming out? What you screaming out? Fight KC, what you talking about? Fight KC, what you screaming about? Fight KC, everybody say, fight KC, come on, fight KC, what you screaming out? Fight KC, what you talking about? Fight KC, come on, fight KC. Fight KC, what you talking about? Fight KC, what you screaming about? Fight KC, everybody say, fight KC.
Hey wrestling fans, welcome to the National Wrestling League Kansas City. I'm Ben Miller sitting here with Christopher Fulton. And Christopher, we got one heck of a match to start you off with here tonight.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to this one an awful lot. By the way, I would not think of two different styles than Ken Dharma and that idiot Blaine Meeks.
Coming off of a loss last week when he tagged with Niles Plonk in a loss to the Royal Bloods last time we were here at the Scottish Rite Temple. Ken Dharma definitely looking to redeem himself. In singles competition, Ken Dharma is undefeated here in the National Wrestling League. So he's definitely has his eyes on the prize and looking to get that all-important victory number 2 here in the National Wrestling League.
Tag team wrestling is so unpredictable, especially if you are somebody who is not used to tag team competition. So you can't really hold that against him. A win or a loss, to be honest, because sometimes it's just the luck of the draw. But Ken Dharma has been on fire as of late in singles competition. And, man, look at these. He's going to give us a little yoga moves right now. Look at that. Can you do that?
I can't deny that is very, very impressive there by High on Life Ken Dharma, showing his incredible flexibility, which is definitely a tool in the arsenal of Ken Dharma.
Absolutely. And speaking of tools, his opponent, Blaine Meeks, on his way to the ring here pretty soon. I am expecting to see a high-flying, fast-paced action match.
Absolutely. Now, although I don't have the same opinion of this man as my broadcast partner here, Blaine Meeks is here in the Scottish Rite Temple looking to make yet another great impression, if you will, on all the fans here in the Scottish Rite Temple.
Listen, people like this guy, and I got to be honest, I don't know why. I mean, he sticks his nose into other people's business all the time. He's a do-gooder, supposedly, so everybody's supposed to live like him, and he's obsessed with heroes and villains and all those things. So let me tell you something. The world just does not work that way. Real life is not heroes and villains and comic books and all of those fairy tale things like it lives in the mind of Blaine Meeks. We don't need heroes, we need real life, and that's not you, Blaine.
Well, maybe Blaine Meeks just likes to look on the bright side. Maybe he doesn't get sucked into the turmoil of today's world and likes to escape. I mean, everyone's got an escape, Christopher, even you do.
I don't need an escape. I deal with real life just as it comes, much like Ken Dharma. He's flexible enough to handle anything.
And the bell has sounded. We are underway here for our first contest this evening. Blaine Meeks taking on Ken Dharma. Nice collar and elbow tie-up into a side headlock. Dharma escapes out of that, puts a side headlock on of his own, really wrenching down on the neck and ear of one Blaine Meeks. Like you said, Christopher, this is going to be a good, high-flying contest, I think, here tonight.
Even in the early goings, you can see how the flexibility of Ken Dharma is going to be difficult to deal with for Blaine Meeks.
Now, although this isn't a KC title tournament match, the implications, whoever wins or loses this match, could be huge going forward in that KC title tournament.
Absolutely. A huge confidence builder for either one of these men to win tonight.
Absolutely. Nice Northern Light suplex, like I said, by Blaine Meeks, and Ken Dharma got immediately out of there. He did not want any part of that move from Blaine Meeks.
Blaine Meeks is very, very explosive. He is so quick, and things can happen with Blaine in just an instant. Ken Dharma smart enough to know, hey, it's time to back out. It's time to calm down. And that just goes to speak to the inner peace that this guy has. He's not in a rush to do anything. He's always thinking things through very, very clearly, even in very difficult situations.
One thing you got to say is that the advantage advantage, the ring advantage, or the veteran advantage may go to one Ken Dharma here. He is an experienced ring veteran, and that may work in his favor in developing a game plan against maybe a little bit newer Blaine Meeks.
Possibly, although Blaine Meeks has annoyed people all around the country. So, he is very, very good at that. So that's probably going to get under the skin of Ken Dharma eventually. Certainly has gotten underneath my skin, that's for sure.
Arm dragon twist by High on Life Ken Dharma, trying to send Blaine Meeks off the ropes, but Blaine Meeks reverses.
Wow.
I have never seen that before.
That is a beautiful Japanese arm drag right there from Blaine Meeks. Guy's definitely well-traveled. That was a fantastic maneuver right there, staying one step ahead of High on Life.
I've seen Japanese arm drags before, but the way he actually flipped to drive Ken Dharma into the mat more was something that I'd never seen before. Kudos to Blaine Meeks on that innovative offense. Dharma escaping, going for an arm drag, showing his flexibility there again, gets out of the arm drag attempt by Blaine Meeks. Blaine Meeks rolls over, flips Ken Dharma over. Dharma with a back heel trip. Meeks kip up, shoulder blocks Dharma to the canvas. That's one thing Blaine Meeks may have going in his favor is he's actually the larger of the two between him and Ken Dharma. Again, showing the flexibility by Ken Dharma, going for a back elbow. Blaine Meeks ducks. Reversal of the clothesline. Leapfrog over. Nice high cross body. Going for a cover here. Only a 2 count. Referee a little bit out of position there. If he would have slid in there just maybe a little bit earlier, this match may have been over.
It's possible that it could have been over. That is for sure. One thing you will never hear me say, that Blaine Meeks is not a talented athlete and a very, very good wrestler. We just saw an exchange right there that proves that. Both him and High on Life Ken Dharma at the top of their game right now. Two guys in fantastic shape.
Absolutely, both in incredible amount of shape. Both, I'm sure.
Standing sunset flip.
Wow, 1, 2. Dharma reverses back into the sunset flip pin. 2 only gets a 2 count. Nice exchange here by these two
Grab
great
the ropes,
athletes.
Blaine, you can win.
Flips him over into a sunset flip pin of his own. Only gets a 2 count. Beautiful standing drop kick connects right with the face of High on Life Ken Dharma.
See if it looks like he might have him in here. No, I guess he doesn't. But if he would have grabbed the ropes
count
on that last exchange, he probably could have won, and this match would have been over. But Mr. Goody Good decided he would take the high road. And look where it might get him beat.
Blaine Meeks looking maybe to slow down the pace a little bit here. Chin breaker by Ken Dharma. He applied that rear chin lock maybe to stop some of the fast-paced action, but instead, Dharma's having none of that. Give him a nice chin breaker to release the hold. Oh, drags his arm over the top rope. Really wrenching that shoulder over the left shoulder over the top rope there. Could have dislocated his shoulder there.
Dharma ending up in the splits. Like I said, you're not going to see anybody else in the world, or especially here in the NWL, that is going to do a maneuver just like that. Ken Dharma is a unique challenge, that is for sure.
Dharma really working over that left shoulder now. He sees the weakness. He has a point of attack now, and look for Dharma to really challenge that that defined, that chiseled left shoulder of Blaine Meeks for the next couple minutes here in this match.
Sometimes that's all it takes is just one little opening. You see your chances and you take it, and that's exactly what Ken Dharma is doing right now. Really working that shoulder over very, very hard.
You can see Blaine Meeks trying to get some blood flow back into that shoulder, and Ken Dharma with a nice kick right to the shoulder again. Blaine Meeks is going to really need to get that circulation going because Dharma is going to focus his attack on the shoulder. Like I said, nice forearm sledge to the chest there by High on Life.
Definitely putting the work to Blaine Meeks right now. One thing you can say about Ken Dharma, yes, he's a smaller guy, that is for sure. But I would say pound for pound, Ken Dharma might be the strongest man here in the NWL. He's got that real strength, that tendon strength. It's not something that a lot of folks have, and he just showed it right there.
That core conditioning strength definitely coming into play there. Going for a cover here. 2 count only. Again, wrenching that left shoulder right into the mat. I mean, slamming it down there, driving that shoulder into the mat. That's got to take its toll on Blaine Meeks.
Absolutely. Blaine a little worse for wear. Still fighting back, though, throwing those chops. But you can tell there's not a lot of velocity on those chops right there. He's really had some of the steam taken out of him.
Again, Dharma focusing the attack on the shoulder, really wrenching it back, utilizing the referee's 5 count here breaking it right at the 4.5. Almost got a disqualification there because he wanted to add a little additional punishment into the shoulder of Blaine Meeks.
Ken Dharma wrestles like he lives his life. It's very focused. It's very direct. He's got the eye on the prize the entire time. You don't see him doing a lot of wasted motion. He puts everything he can into everything that he does, and it's certainly paid off for him in the past, and it's paying off for him right now.
And think about the comic mischief, that backcracker move that Blaine Meeks likes to utilize. If he doesn't have one of his arms to execute that maneuver with, he's not going to be able to finish this match.
I cannot wait for the day that Blaine Meeks is gone and I never have to hear the term comic mischief again.
He's a comic book fan. He wanted to name his move something that the fans could rally behind, something that really represented who he is.
You know, you want to impress me with how well you can read and how learned you are. Read an actual book, Blaine, not some little 30-page comic book that's mostly pictures.
Dharma still staying on the offensive here, working over that shoulder of Blaine Meeks. Blaine Meeks trying to get some separation here, throws Dharma off the other side of the ropes. Dharma rolls through.
Beautiful move.
Looks like he's going for a submission maneuver here. Oh my gosh, really rapid. Did you see that the torque on that shoulder of Blaine Meeks? I don't even know what to call that move, but it looks painful.
Sort of like a kneeling octopus maneuver. And again, I'll say it again, who else is going to be able to pull off a maneuver like that? Nobody but Ken Dharma. So how do you prepare for it? You have to prepare specifically for Ken Dharma, and that's just something that a lot of folks just don't have the time. This guy is great. I expect big things from Ken Dharma. He has really taken it to a guy who has done very, very well for himself so far in Blaine Meeks, but he is really having some trouble here with Ken Dharma.
Going into a headstand here, he could be looking for a
setting
splash.
up for something.
Good. Showing again the flexibility and core strength of Ken Dharma. Springs back and misses a reverse splash after that headstand in the corner. Blaine Meeks needs to capitalize now if he expects to remain undefeated here in the National Wrestling League.
Dharma maybe took a few seconds too long. That's one thing about a guy like Blaine Meeks. He is in such great condition. You can't let up on him for too long or you're going to pay for it, just like Ken Dharma seems to be right now.
Meeks getting the knees up to the face of Ken Dharma. Nice springboard clothesline, or springing off the second rope, excuse me. Reverse elbow takes Dharma down to the mat again. Looking for a go behind there.
Dharma doesn't know where he is.
Nice corkscrew elbow drop, almost a driving corkscrew elbow. Blaine Meeks might be looking for comic mischief here. Misses a clothesline.
Lands on his feet.
What is he going for here? Blaine Meeks rolls through. Nice flatliner type maneuver. Could be going for a pin here. 1, 2, almost a 3 count.
He was very, very close to getting a 3 count right there. Dharma able to kick out. I think he kicked out on instinct. You don't see Dharma moving around too much right now. He might be setting up for his finisher right now. I refuse to call it what you're going to call it, but he looks like he might be getting ready for it.
Blaine Meeks looks like he's setting up for comic mischief. If he hits this could be over. Dharma wisely holds on to the ropes, showing that ring veteran. Oh, kicks him right in the face, showing Blaine Meeks that he is a ring veteran here. He could be locking on his pinning combination called Kickstart the Elephant. He's rolls through into a bridge. Here it is. This could be it. 1, 2, almost a 3 count. Blaine Meeks wisely rolls through, uses his momentum to shift over and get out of that pin. Kickstart the Elephant, almost put away Blaine Meeks.
I have never seen anybody get out of that maneuver.
Oh.
Well scouted maneuver right there. We've seen Ken Dharma do that standing moonsault many times.
Puts the knees up. This could be it. He may be looking for it here. He's got the arms trapped. I've never seen this before. Comic mischief connects with the back of Ken Dharma. 1, 2, 3, and that's it. Blaine Meeks remains undefeated, getting a victory over High on Life Ken Dharma.
As much as I hate to say it, that was an impressive victory right there from Blaine Meeks. This guy continues to impress me with his physical abilities. His mental abilities still have a lot to be desired, in my opinion. This know-it-all, well, look at this. Here we go. Now, you want to talk heroes. Maybe this guy should be your hero.
Every single time Blaine Meeks wins or picks up a victory or celebrates anything, Dak Draper is here to rain on the parade of Blaine Meeks.
Save us, Dak Draper. You're our only hope.
What is Dak Draper up to? I guess we'll find out when we come back here on the National Wrestling League. We'll be right back, folks. Welcome back, wrestling fans, to the National Wrestling League Kansas City. Dak Draper, the scene stealer, is on the scene after stealing Blaine Meeks' victory right out from under him, just like he always does.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Dak Draper. I get so tired of seeing that idiot Blaine Meeks. Finally, Dak looks like he's got something to say. Let's hear what a real man has to say.
All right, shut your mouths while Dak Draper is talking.
Absolutely, it's rude to keep talking.
This guy's disgusting.
1 month ago, I stood in this ring and I said that you would never be able to find someone from Kansas City who could stand toe-to-toe with me, and you all booed.
But he was right, wasn't he? He was right.
So far, Dak Draper undefeated here in the National
Well,
Wrestling League.
shame on you, because in the
love that.
last month, I've easily dispatched the greatest athletes Kansas City has to offer. I'm not just the best wrestler here, I'm the greatest man in this entire city.
That's probably true.
So I've initiated the Dak Draper Dreams Do Come True Challenge.
Oh, give me a break.
I'm not just here to wrestle guys from Kansas City now. I'll stand toe-to-toe with any man from anywhere in the world so they can know what it feels like to be in the ring with the Mile High Magnum.
Got to be a confident man to issue a challenge like that, and Dak Draper is that confident man. Let's see if anybody's
Confident or cocky? There's a fine line there, and I think Draper. Who's this?
Now, we've heard about this guy coming, Scott Slade.
Not much is known about this gentleman, but it looks like Scott Slade has answered the Dreams Come True challenge of Dak Draper.
Introducing from Las Vegas, Nevada, weighing 235 pounds, welcoming him to the NWL KC, Scott Slade.
Look at the physique on this guy.
Scott Slade absolutely heard the buzz about this guy coming to the NWL, but I got to say, I don't know a whole lot about him. Certainly an international man of mystery. We know he's from Las Vegas. We know he's in great shape. You can tell that by looking at him. But other than that, I don't know if he has. It's going to take a lot more than a good physique to be in the ring with Dak Draper.
That's right. The fans of the Scottish Rite Temple here in Kansas City may not even know what to think of Scott Slade themselves, but one thing's for sure, he plans on answering this challenge and putting up one heck of a fight against Dak Draper here tonight.
Well, you got to give Scott Slade credit. If you're going to make an impression, you got to make it against a top-notch competition. So rise or fall, he's in for a fight here tonight. If he wins, he's from Las Vegas, right? He's a gambler. If he wins, that's a big feather in his cap. If he loses, well, then you lost to the very, very best, and that's not so bad, I guess.
Dak Draper definitely playing a little gambling of his own by he hasn't had time to prepare for Scott Slade. So it is a gamble of his to issue these open challenges, because if someone like Scott Slade gets in the ring and upsets Dak Draper, because quite frankly, if he wins, it would be an upset, Dak Draper has no one to blame but himself.
Absolutely. You do take a risk when you put yourself out there, but that's what being a confident, just an alpha male like Dak Draper, that's what being confident is all about. This guy has confidence to spare, and I think that he doesn't worry about anything like that. He's not like you. He doesn't worry about that he didn't have time to prepare. I'm sure Dak Draper, he just went in and took his ACT and his SATs. He didn't have to study for him, and he probably got a perfect score on him. The guy probably set world records in high school, and he didn't have to really work all that hard for him. Dak Draper, he's just a better human being than you especially, and probably most people. I'm probably right up there in his league, but the rest of you, fall short for sure. And
But you go out there and cheer him on at ringside. Don't sit here with me. Go cheer on Dak Draper if you love him so much.
Believe me, if I didn't get fired for not being here making sure you do your job, I'd be right there at ringside cheering him on, that's for sure. Why wouldn't I be? I like winners. I suppose you like losers. That's why you like guys like Blaine Meeks. You guys sit around and you talk about the Marvel Universe together.
We've had a few conversations about comics.
I'll bet
Nothing
you
wrong
had.
with that.
I'll bet you had. I see the 16-sided die in your pocket right there. You two guys are peas in a pod.
20-sided die.
Meanwhile, me and Dak Draper are out there having the time of our life. And this guy, man, look at that. Impressive maneuver right off the bat.
Bell sounds and we are underway here. Scott Slade answers the open challenge of Dak Draper. Let's see what Scott Slade can do here in his debut in the National Wrestling League. And so far, he got taken over by Dak Draper.
One thing we can say that we know for sure about Scott Slade, now the talent scouts here in the NWL, a little tit for tat right there. Whatever you can do, I can do better, I guess. That's the game they're playing right now. We know that, there you go. You can't turn your back on Dak Draper. That's what I was going to say.
Not a smart move by Scott Slade, turning his back on the mile-high Magnum. He got forearm for his troubles there. Nice hip, almost a judo throw, takes over Dak Draper. Make that 2.
One of the things you can tell from Scott Slade right now is the guy's got a variety of different styles that he seems to employ. And again, Dak Draper going into this blind, right, just like we are. We don't know a whole lot about Scott Slade, but he's certainly doing a great job against Dak, keeping him off his feet, keeping him sort of off balance right now.
I would say those were almost judo throws. So maybe this gentleman has some skill in the martial arts. Like you said, he's a man of mystery. We don't know too much about him, but that was definitely martial arts style throws there from Scott Slade.
Absolutely. Dak Draper, though, always on top of his game. Yeah, I wouldn't count Dak out. He's just kind of trying to feel. There's a feeling out process going on right here, I believe, from Dak Draper.
Dak Draper is skilled enough to know that he has to be prepared for anybody who steps through those ropes and tries to challenge him. So you're right. He's probably doing a feeling out process right now, both jockeying for position here with those arm ringers, both slipping out of each other's maneuvers as well.
Definitely seems to be sort of a feeling out process for both of these men. Dak trying to see what kind of style maybe that Scott Slade is adapting to, and then you see it opening like that. Well, Scott Slade always, he seems to be ahead of Dak, one step ahead all the time.
Smart arm drag throw over. He looked like he was going to get taken down to the mat by Dak Draper and had none of that and actually used Dak Draper's weight to throw him over. This Scott Slade is impressive so far.
You can tell that there's a bit of respect here from both of these men based on how slow they're moving, how methodical. They're neither man wanting to make that first big mistake.
2 Japanese-style arm drags there, and Dak Draper does not want any part of the momentum that Scott Slade has put together for himself.
That's a smart veteran move right there. Things aren't going your way. You get out of the ring and you kind of recollect yourself, maybe get yourself back on track. He's jawing with these fans a little bit, maybe taking Scott Slade's mind off the match just a little bit.
He's trying to take that sign away from the fan. He needs to pay more attention to his opponent, Scott Slade. Oh! Drops him neck first over that top rope. Dak Draper used that as an opening to get a move off on Scott Slade.
All part
belly
of the
to back
plan.
suplex.
Beautiful maneuver right there. All part of the plan for Dak Draper. He lured us all in with that, and it looks like Scott Slade is paying the price for it.
2 count only after driving a knee right into the jaw of Scott Slade. Dak Draper seemed to almost have planned that attack when Scott Slade was looking at him on the outside, being distracted by that fan, dropped his neck right over that top rope, and now this is the position we're in.
He has really got it, that rear chin lock cinched in tight. If Todd Countryman was any good at his job, he'd be in there checking to see if Scott Slade wanted to give it up. I think he probably does. Dak Draper, you've seen the size of that guy's arms. This guy's so tall, so big. He's got all that leverage up it that really hurts Scott Slade. Scott Slade in a world of hurt right now.
Dragging him down by his hair. And you saw that, Christopher. He took him by his hair and threw him down to the mat. Unfortunately, referee didn't see it. Puts a break on that arm drag and takes him over with the head scissors. Nicely done by Dak Draper, showing some technical ability there.
You say that like you're surprised that he has technical ability, and yet we see it week in and week out right here on the NWL.
2, only gets a 2 count. Scott Slade able to mount some offense there after that head scissors takeover by Dak Draper, looking for that belly to back suplex and went for a pin and was only able to get a 2.
Did you see that? Scott Slade was checking his heart rate right there. He was checking to see just, I guess, how exerted he is or something.
Spinning back elbow after almost like a Rainmaker back elbow. Driving that knee into the face over and over again. Nice camera work by our guys here, getting you right in on top of the action.
We have seen Dak Draper use that spinning back elbow on many occasions. It is a game changer, that's for sure. Anytime he hits somebody with that, Dak Draper firmly in control, sometimes even puts guys away with that thing.
Drives it with such malice and such authority when he connects with that spinning back elbow. And yes, he can put away somebody with that maneuver. Again, locking in the chin lock. Look at how tight he's got that chin lock on Scott Slade, really wrenching down, making sure he's got to gasp. He's got to work for every breath of air he's trying to take.
Absolutely. You got to make that guy carry your own body weight, work really hard.
Scott Slade going for a schoolboy here, too. Only gets a 2 count. Clothesline. Takes Scott Slade right out of his boots.
He may have knocked him out with that. We haven't seen Scott Slade moving too much. Oh, you can't cover him like that, Dak. Hey, look, I appreciate showing somebody up, and I appreciate being cocky, but that was a wasted opportunity there from Dak Draper.
Again, locking down that chin lock, making sure that he's got to carry. He's putting all of his weight, all of his pressure on the neck and trapezius muscles of Scott Slade.
Had you noticed how much happier I have been in the last, say, 10 minutes or so than I was the previous 10 minutes before that when I had to sit here and talk about that super geek Blaine Meeks? Now I get to talk about a real competitor like Dak Draper, the guy that this company should be basing all of its everything on. And now, man, I'm just so much happier that I don't have to deal with that dork Blaine.
Mahi straw cradle, rolls up Dak Draper, gets a 2 count. Scott Slade using every bit of his offense to try to get a victory here over Dak Draper.
Well, you don't know that he's using every bit of his offense. I mean, we don't know anything about this guy yet. Who knows what he's got in store for Dak Draper?
Multiple pinning combinations tells me that he's willing to do anything. Wow, spinning right hand connects with the face of Draper. This could be it. We could be looking at Scott Slade getting a victory over Dak Draper here, connected with that right hand.
Last guy I saw do that very effectively was Kerry Von Erich with his discus punch. Really knocked out a lot of guys.
Crumbling him with a forearm there off the ropes. He didn't even wait for Scott Slade to turn around and just came at him full force and connected right with that forearm, right to the face, sending Scott Slade to the outside.
Absolutely. He hit him right on the button, as they say, with that one. Scott Slade is out, I think, on his out on the ring floor. Well, he is back up on his feet, but he is worse for wear for sure.
Dak Draper stays on the attack.
Gator roll.
Looks like he's looking to utilize the gator roll here. Trying to get Scott Slade off his equilibrium off. Rolls him right outside the ring. What does Draper have planned here? You know, everything Dak Draper does, there's a plan to it.
Taking a little break there. Good for him. Well-deserved. A couple of seconds rest there from Dak Draper. Scott Slade in a bad way right now. That gator roll, he really wrenches up on the neck and on the head. And he's right back to that front face lock.
Todd Countryman putting the count on. Scott Slade able to make it back in the ring in the nick of time.
It's a good thing that Scott Slade made it back into the ring because Todd Countryman, well, he can't count higher than 6, so he would have been exposed for the idiot that he is. Product of the Iowa City Schools districts there, Todd Countryman.
Stop. Todd Countryman's a great referee here in the National Wrestling League.
Of the 10 people that I like the least, he is 6 of them.
Oh, tries to connect it with that spinning back elbow. Looks like Scott Slade, stopped it and connected with a knee of his own. Dak Draper may be out. That connected right with the chin of Dak Draper after the block on that spinning elbow.
I would say that Dak Draper maybe bit off a little bit more than he thought he was here tonight. He was thinking, who knows, maybe there's a student in the background, somebody maybe trying to make their debut. He didn't expect a challenge this hard from a guy like Scott Slade. Scott Slade is really impressing me here tonight. This guy is, I think he's got to be figured into the title consideration. I know he's not in the tournament, but this guy's going to be around, and man, he is really showing me something here.
Absolutely. Scott Slade with a series of right hands connects with Dak Draper. Looks like he was going for a bulldog, just drives Dak Draper's head into the turnbuckle, follows it up with a clothesline. This guy has a wide array of offensive maneuvers that he is showing here at the Scottish Rite Temple, and it looks like he could be setting Draper up for a snap suplex or a suplex
nice job by Draper, blocks it. Look at that. That is some
deadlifts him into the air.
Wow.
Vertical suplex driving Dak Draper down into the center of the ring. Scott Slade needs to make the cover right here. This could be it. 1, 2. 2 3/4.
Unbelievable maneuver there. Dak Draper about 250, 260 pounds right there. We were in perfect position to block that maneuver. Scott Slade powered him up into that huge suplex right there. Dak Draper really feeling the effects of that one. That was impressive by Scott Slade. It looks like, is Dak leaving?
Dak doesn't want
He's
any
gonna take
more.
off.
He doesn't want any more.
Maybe that's
of
the
Scott
smartest
Slade.
move.
Scott
Nope,
Slade
he's
puts
got
the
him.
brakes on him. Looks like he's dragging him back into the ring. What is
What's
he
this
doing
now?
here?
Front face lock. Looks like you might be setting him up for a DDT.
Drives Dak Draper into the mat after
This could be it.
pulling him out too. Oh, that was so close. Out of all the matches we've seen from Dak Draper, this is the closest we've ever seen to him possibly tasting defeat.
Dak Draper, you wanted a test. It looks like you got one in this international man of mystery, Scott Slade. Scott Slade has come here to make a big debut, and it looks like he might do just that. I don't know what he's setting him up
Look for
here.
a Gotch-style pile driver. Dak Draper gets the best of that. Floats over into a cover, only gets a 2 count. Scott Slade kicks out. Gut wrench position here by Scott Slade. Nice gut wrench suplex. Continues to hold on to Dak Draper. Going for another one, showing his incredible
Is he going to go one
strength.
more? This guy is an animal. Look how strong this guy is.
Just whipping Dak Draper over like he was nothing. Shooting the half, going for the cover. 1, 2. Almost gets a 3 count, 3 consecutive gut wrench suplexes. Incredible strength by Scott Slade. Rolls him over.
He's gonna
Dak
catch him
taking
sleeping.
advantage. 1, 2. Almost gets a 3 count there.
Very obvious amateur background in the background of Scott Slade for sure. You can see that evident there, but nothing like
Just
a
got
rope
caught
across
in the
the neck.
stun gun. This could be it. The Mile High Doctor Bomb.
Unbelievable.
1, 2, 3, and that's it for the debuting Scott Slade. Dak Draper remains undefeated here in the National Wrestling League.
Absolutely, man. I was very, very impressed with the skills of Scott Slade, but it just goes to show you how talented Dak Draper really is. This is a guy he knew nothing about, and he came into it blind, and he still comes out on top. There's your winner right there. Dare I say it, he's going to be the first Kansas City champion here in the NWL. That is Dak Draper, the Mile High Magnet. If you're not on board with him, well then shame on you.
After that victory over the debuting Scott Slade, I look forward to seeing Scott Slade a lot more here in the National Wrestling League, and it's hard to argue after a victory like that of Dak Draper, he may in fact be our first Kansas City heavyweight champion.
Absolutely. Who's going to beat him? Who is it going to be? Is it going to be Red Cloud? Is it going to be Niles Punk? I don't know. Looks like this guy might have everybody's number here in the NWL.
Great match here. We'll be right back with your main event of the evening on the National Wrestling League. It's main event time here at the Scottish Rite Temple in downtown Kansas City, Missouri, and we have a rematch for the ages here tonight.
Absolutely. Jeremy Wyatt and Thor Terio. To me, though, this match shouldn't even be taking place. Jeremy Wyatt already beat Thor. I don't see why you have to do this against purely sour grapes on Major Basin's part, President Major Basin. But yeah, this match is a travesty.
The only reason why that first match happened is because Michael Strider came out and interrupted Major Basin complaining about the seed of Jeremy Wyatt. So to appease him, he said, why don't you fight right here tonight? And it's not the KC title tournament match.
Is that the kind of man that you want to work for, Major Basin, with his sour grapes? You know, you go to him with a complaint, you take the proper channels, you come out there and you ask him and you say, hey, why isn't my client higher seated? And he punishes you by making you wrestle the same man twice. I don't think it's fair. I think it stinks.
Jeremy Wyatt has beat Thor Terio last time out, so if he beat him once, he can definitely beat him again here tonight, right?
Absolutely, but does that mean, did they play the Super Bowl? Is it best 2 out of 3? No, it isn't. You win once and you move on, right? You're champions, and now he's got to do it all again.
Thor Terio is making his way into the Scottish Rite Temple here in Kansas City, Missouri, looking to advance in the KC title tournament.
You know, let me ask you one thing about Thor Terio. Have you ever heard him talk? I don't think this guy, is he a mute? Is he a mute? I've never heard him talk. I hardly ever see him smile. He's mouthing words right there, but I don't hear anything coming out of his mouth.
Thor Terio is is very much loved by all the fans here at the Scottish Rite Temple. He's a man of few words, though. This is the type of guy that let his fists do all the talking for him, and Michael Strider would serve to stay clear of Theriot.
Oh, I bet that's right. Yeah, he does let his fist do the talking for him, but punches are illegal. This is wrestling. This isn't boxing. So that means that guy is a no-talent hack because he's throwing punches at a technical superstar like Jeremy Wyatt.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following is a NWL KC Championship Tournament set for
What
one
do I have
fall,
to do to
and
get
is
Dom
the
Diablo
main
fired?
event of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you first, fighting to my left out of this corner, from Kansas City, Missouri, weighing 193 pounds, accompanied by Michael Strider, the Monarch, Jeremy
Love him or hate him, he is in
Wyatt.
phenomenal shape right now. He is ready for this match against Theriot.
This guy is in better shape than I have ever seen him. I go way back with Jeremy Wyatt. He
And
looks
to my
great.
right, fighting out of this corner, from Lincoln, Nebraska, weighing 213 pounds, time to hit the panic button, Thor Terio.
Or Terio in great shape himself. You can tell he's prepared for this match as well. It is main event time, and you can feel it here in the atmosphere of the Scottish Rite Temple.
Thor Terio out of Lincoln, Nebraska. You know the best thing to come out of Lincoln, Nebraska? It's Highway 80 East and Highway 80 West. If you're leaving that town, that's a good thing. Thor Terio, maybe the only smart thing that he's done is to get out of that hellhole.
Collar and elbow tie up here, and we are underway for our main event of the evening, with ramifications that could reverberate throughout the National Wrestling League all the way to the finals of the KC title tournament.
Well, Michael Strider and Jeremy Wyatt won the first meeting between these two. I wonder what kind of game plan Thor, I wonder if he learned anything at all, if he's just going to be clueless in how to deal with the Monarch and Michael Strider.
Jeremy Wyatt showing his wrestling prowess by taking him over with a side headlock takeover, switches it over. Thor Terio switches it into a headlock, or a headlock. I can't even think of the dang move right now. Jeez.
Wyatt back to the side headlock. They're firmly in control right now.
Rolls
Thor
him back
trying to
onto
get a
his
cheap
shoulders,
one.
going for a cover here. Gets a 2 count.
Fans,
Go ahead.
fans, if you have not got your Fight Club pass, you need to go and check that out at fightkc.com. You get a chance to go see all of these matches at a discount price. You're not going to find anything more fun to do on a Saturday night than come to the Scottish Rite Temple and see the NWL. You're going to see great matches just like this. So if you haven't done that, you need to do that right away. See, I'm a corporate guy.
I think after all those bad things you said about Major Bazin at the start of this match, you're trying to make it up a little bit, Christopher.
Listen, I speak the truth. Major made those mistakes, and I'm the only one that has the guts enough to call him out on it. You're just like a little lapdog. Yes, sir, whatever you want. That's not me, and that's why I'm the best color man in the business.
Nice exchange there by Wyatt and Terio. Look for Terio to try to throw off the game of the much more mat-based Jeremy Wyatt. Although Jeremy Wyatt can fly, he can pretty much do anything in the squared circle. But I think Jeremy Wyatt's going to concentrate his attack on the neck. He wants to soften that neck up for the pile driver.
Well, absolutely. Thor Terio's got a great body. He's in fantastic shape, but the guy's got a 10-cent head, and he might have a glass jaw, so you work on that, and you make him pay for putting into holds like this. Listen, Wyatt knows what he's thinking. If he has any questions, he can certainly go out there to probably the best manager in the business, and that is Michael Strider. And these two guys have a great game plan. But again, they should not even be wrestling this match.
Snapmare takeover. Michael Strider there on the outside wearing a leather jacket, looking cheesy, to say the least. Michael Strider and Jeremy Wyatt have had their feuds and their wars over the years, so it's always shocking to me to see these guys aligned on this, in the same area, to be on the same page, to be suffering through each other, and it always blows my mind.
Listen, when you fight somebody as hard as those two men have fought each other, you develop a kind of respect. You develop sort of a sixth sense for what the other one is doing, and you find out sometimes that maybe you're just different sides of the same coin, and I think that's what happened with Strider and Wyatt.
Looked like he was going for a pile driver early. It rolls him over, only gets a 2 count. for a minute there, Terio was going for his Ragnarok Gutbuster and was unable to connect with it. Jeremy Wyatt countered and tried to get him in the pile driver. Both men looking for that little small opening to get the 1-2-3 on the other person.
That was sort of a reminder that, hey, at any moment, if you screw up, I can get you with my move. And then that was a counter saying, well, yeah, but you better get it because I can get you with mine as well. These two men, very, very well scouted. Had their differences in the past. Wyatt certainly has not taken kindly to young upstarts as of late. As you know, you get a little older, you start to appreciate all the time that you've spent in the ring. And when you get these young bucks that sort of come along and they don't appreciate it, maybe they don't show the respect for things that you think they should, that kind of gets underneath your skin. I can completely relate to that.
Going for an arm drag takeover. Nice pin by Jeremy Wyatt. Almost gets a 3 count. Deep arm drag. Drags Terio right into the mat. Nicely executed by Jeremy Wyatt.
Ricky Steamboat just called and he said that was a fantastic arm drag, and I say I have to agree. Look at him putting the full pressure right there on the shoulder. He's not wasting. He's not trying to find the right pressure point. He knows right where to go. That's the sign of a technician. It's not whether or not he can put the hold on you, but what he does after he's got it on you.
Thor countering into a hammerlock position. Jeremy Wyatt's going to try to find an escape out of this. And he does, counters with a hammerlock of his own. Both these guys so technically based, so technically sound that they can just switch holds on top of each other. Showing nice striking ability by Jeremy Wyatt, the forearm right to the face.
One thing that Wyatt has done is he has been able to transition from different styles. He blends so many things together in a combination like most folks have never seen.
Back elbow catches Terio. Looked like he was going for a German suplex out of the corner. And again, Wyatt with a hard forearm strike to the face. Nice snapmare takeover by Jeremy Wyatt.
One thing about Wyatt now, he's never been the biggest or the strongest guy, and he'll be the first to admit that, but he's so technically sound that he gets the most out of everything that he does, and it definitely your opponents will pay the price for as technically sound as he is.
Nice switch over there by Terio. Wyatt too close to the ropes, though. Has to break the hold by a 5 count. Terio making sure that he gives Jeremy Wyatt a little bit of space to get back up to his feet. That's true sportsmanship by Terio.
That's just dumb right there. You're in the ring with a guy like Jeremy Wyatt and you get an opportunity to take a cheap shot and kick him right in the mush. You should do it. I bet you that's going to come back to bite him for sure.
Again, Jeremy Wyatt applying a hammerlock. Terio slipping out, applying one of his own. These guys right now it's tit for tat. Every move, match for every move. These guys seem to have studied tape on each other, and from their last match, they know each other so well. This is going to be a great It's a great contest already. Nice standing dropkick connects with the face of Jeremy Wyatt. Showing his excellent athleticism there, leaving his feet for a perfectly executed dropkick.
Excellent job there from Terio, definitely trying to wear Wyatt down. That's what you got to do. Wyatt's, like I said, not the biggest guy, so if you can hit him with some high-impact moves, that's definitely going to have an effect on the guy later on because you're not going to wear this guy out. Look at him. He is in fantastic shape. Everything about Wyatt is functional, and this guy just gets better and better as the match goes on, so you really got to take it to him when you can.
Switches him around. Looks like he might be going for a DDT. Well, he's just got him in a front face lock there. He might be going for a suplex or a DDT. But meanwhile, just satisfied with locking in that front face lock, trying to drain some of that energy out of Terio.
Thor is so strong, especially at the early goings of this match, that I don't think you're going to be able to hook him in anything like a DDT just yet.
Jeremy Wyatt proving he's a smart ring veteran, holds onto the ropes. Thor trying to execute another drop kick and was unable to do so. But he connects one with his own right there. Says Jeremy Wyatt spilling to the outside. What does Terio have planned here?
Again, this is another advantage for Wyatt having Michael Strider out there. Not a smart move for Thor to go out there. He's out there with 2 men. You got to believe that Michael Strider is lurking around there and looking to maybe take advantage of the situation. And why wouldn't he?
And speak of the devil, yes. There he grabbing on the leg of Terio, and Jeremy Wyatt capitalizing on driving a knee right to the midsection neck breaker off the second rope. Jeremy Wyatt really is capitalizing on that. Gets a 2 count only on Terio. What a snake that Michael Strider is. Always has to make sure he's getting involved whenever Jeremy Wyatt has a match. Why can't he just let these two guys go at it inside the squared circle?
Because that's not how you do successful business. When you are part of a team, you work together as a team. You take advantage of opportunities as they came up. That opportunity came up, and it's working out pretty well for Jeremy Wyatt right now. I say that's the kind of man you want in your corner, not someone who's going to stand there and hold a towel or a pom-pom and cheer you on.
Hard knife-edge chops followed up by a headbutt by Jeremy Wyatt. Jeremy Wyatt really can brawl with the best. I mean, we've seen him in the wars with Michael Strider over the years. Like you said earlier, this guy can do it all. He can brawl. He can high fly. He can mat wrestle. And that's got to be hard for Thor Terio to prepare for. He doesn't know which Jeremy Wyatt he's going to get tonight.
That is absolutely right. You're going to get the guy who is crazed and going to choke the life out of you, or you're going to get the technical wrestler, you're going to get the high flyer, or you're going to get the one who's going to rely on Michael Strider to do a lot of the heavy lifting. You never know what you're going to get from Michael Strider and Jeremy Wyatt, and that's what makes them so dangerous, and that's what I think is going to make them come out on top like they were last time, and the fact that this match shouldn't even be taking place.
Nice reverse elbow into the corner, connects right with the face of Thor Terio. Jeremy Wyatt's going to look to connect with that pile driver. He calls it the coronation. He's going to drive Thor Terio down on top of his head, score the 1-2-3. He says the only reason he's back in wrestling, in the National Wrestling League, is to be the first and only KC NWL champion.
Well, you know, this guy, he doesn't have a whole lot to prove in his wrestling career, but he did want to make a statement, and that is that he is the best that this area has ever seen. Arguably, he's certainly in the conversation. There's a lot of greats that have come through this area, but he is certainly in that list for sure.
Really working on that neck.
Thor
He's going for another swinging neck breaker, and Thor Terio hung on. He's going for a pin attempt of his own. Gets a 2 count. Referee Nick Chin right on top of the action.
Quick
this is a
Oklahoma
big
roll
boot. Nice STO connects. Going for a cover again. 1-2. Gets a 2 count only. Jeremy Wyatt, so slick, transitions into every single move so fluidly, and that's what makes him one of the best, not only here in the NWL, but all across the country.
This guy has said it before, and he'll probably say it again. Everybody else is playing checkers. He's playing chess. He's not thinking about what he's doing right now. He's thinking about what's going to be happening 5 minutes from now. That's why generally this guy has always been so successful, because he's not thinking about the present. He's thinking about the future. He's thinking about what is going to happen, and he's prepared when it gets there.
Chopping him right across the chest. Jeremy Wyatt maintains this onslaught. And as I said earlier, really working over that neck, really softening that neck up for the pile driver. And his game plan is working to a T right now. Sends him hard into the turnbuckle.
Even fresh, if you get hit with a pile driver, you're probably not getting up. But if your neck is weak, though your spine is a little soft from being beaten so much, you're not getting up. And you might actually get your career ended by a move like the pile driver, especially with the guy who is so technically sound and can hit it out of anywhere and hit it with such proficiency. And Thor, this does not look good for you. Thor should have learned his lesson. He shouldn't have accepted this challenge. He should have said, he should have been a man and said, you know what, I got beat already. I'm going to go ahead and bow out of this match, because that's the honorable thing to do. You talk about honor and you talk about all these guys who do the right thing. Well, that's the right thing. How come Thor isn't doing that?
Because this is about the richest prize in our sport. This is about the first KC title for the National Wrestling League. And Thor knows that if he gets that belt, his whole career could explode. More money, more opportunity, more everything. Hard right hands to the face of Jeremy Wyatt. Jeremy Wyatt slips out and tries to take the leg out, gets caught with a kick right in the ear, throwing off his equilibrium, and Thor misses a high cross body. Jeremy Wyatt on top of it here, making sure that he is one step ahead of Thor Terio this entire match. Jumping reverse elbow strike right to the face. 1, 2, almost gets a 3 count.
Thor still has a lot of fight in him, but Wyatt calmly and collectively just sort of gathering his thoughts, looking for his next move, and not in too much of a hurry here to put out Thor. He knows just as well as we do, the longer this match goes on, the more it favors him. So he's in no hurry to get to that 40-minute mark just yet.
throws Thor Terio outside of the ring. This is where Jeremy Wyatt is dangerous. Anytime the match spills outside the ring, you never know what Jeremy Wyatt has in store for his opponent, and drops him neck first over that security railing, again working over the neck of Thor Terio.
Well, we've seen this up many times. Guys hit that guardrail and their momentum immediately stops. There's no give in those steel guardrails right there, and that's certainly going to take a lot out of Thor. It's only a matter of time, I think, right now until we get Jeremy Wyatt is going to win this match. There you go.
Rubbing that sign in his face and punches him with it right in the face. What a vicious right hand by Jeremy Wyatt. Referee Nick Chin putting the count on both of these athletes, wanting them to get it back in the ring, and Jeremy Wyatt actually abides and throws Thor Terio back in the ring.
Thor is definitely worse for wear right now. He's kind of on Dream Street. As you look at him, he's holding his neck. That's not good for him.
Stomping away on the back of the neck is Jeremy Wyatt, continuing to punish the neck and shoulder region of Thor Terio. This has been all Jeremy Wyatt this match. Thor Terio hasn't seemed, just like in the matches we've seen in the past in the Scottish Rite Temple, Thor Terio is having a hard time getting a good hard start against any opponent, and especially against Jeremy Wyatt here tonight.
Well, the thing about Thor is that you never know what he's thinking. He's so quiet, he's so calm, that you never know if this guy's fired up or not. You don't know what his game plan is. He takes an awful lot of punishment. You see this guy taking an awful lot of punishment in every match that he's in, but he always seems to manage to come back, and that goes back to his conditioning. But I don't think that his conditioning is going to save him with a guy who's in such great shape like Jeremy Wyatt. Like we've said it over and over again, the longer this match goes, the more it favors Wyatt and Strider.
One thing we have to keep in mind about Thor Terio, though, is once that switch flips, once he's had enough, he is going to fire up and make anybody who stands in his way pay for what they've done against him.
Absolutely. He is certainly seen to be able to turn it on at any moment that he chooses to. I question, though, why wouldn't he choose to turn that switch on in the first 4 minutes and not take 10 minutes worth of beating?
Slams him head first into that turnbuckle. Thor Terio looks like he's starting to feel it. He's starting to realize that Jeremy Wyatt is throwing everything he has at him, and it might be time to flip that switch.
Well, he better do something quick. Wyatt has been unrelenting on him for the past, 5 to 10 minutes or so. Thor really starting to get worked up now, though.
Jeremy Wyatt trying to slam Thor Terio's head off of every turnbuckle here in the Scottish Rite Temple. Misses a clothesline. Nice forearm by Thor Terio. Connects with another one, sends Jeremy Wyatt down to the mat. Thor Terio is on a roll here tonight.
In the corner. Big elbow. Hits the other corner. Another
Going
big elbow
forearm strike. He's hitting every corner here in the Scottish Rite Temple. Connects with a drop kick and has Jeremy Wyatt reeling.
Hit him very hard with that drop kick. Wyatt spilling into the corner as well. Now he's setting him up for suplex. No, Wyatt wisely gets out of that.
Thor Terio needs to maintain that offense, that aggressive offense that he started in order to pick up a win. German suplex connects, and both men are down, and Thor Terio has made his way back up to his feet.
Thor really feeling that second wind right now, hitting Wyatt with a couple of
And look at this, Michael Strider.
There you
Michael
go.
Strider up on the apron trying to distract Thor Terio. And it looks
might
like
have
Jeremy
him.
Wyatt going for a roll-up, has a handful of tights, only gets a 2 count. Thor and gets met with a pump thrust kick.
That's
This
gonna
could
do
be
it.
it. 1, 2. Almost a 3. Jeremy Wyatt almost stealing a victory from Thor Terio after the distraction of Michael Strider.
And wouldn't that be a thorn in President Major Baisden's side if Strider and Wyatt advance in the tournament? He's doing everything he can to keep these guys away from that Kansas City championship, and they're not having it.
Thor Terio again fighting off of his knees, trying to figure out something, trying to put something together to put the Monarch away and to get the Monarch out of the KC title tournament. And I disagree with you. I don't believe there's any bias on behalf of our President Major Baisden. He just wants the best competition here to happen in the Scottish Rite Temple and in the KC title tournament.
Absolutely, he wants the best competition. I'll give him that. But why do we have to have this match twice? He's trying to punish Jeremy Wyatt for doing such a good job, for being not the corporate stooge that so many other people, hint, hint, I'm talking about you, are.
Snap suplex by Thor Terio into the corner after blocking that attempt at it looked like a tornado DDT by Jeremy Wyatt, and Thor Terio looks to be going to the top rope. What is he hoping to do here against the Monarch Jeremy Wyatt? Maybe he's trying to connect with that Swanton bomb. And he misses. Jeremy Wyatt moves out of the way. Thor Terio goes crashing into the center of our logo here at the Scottish Rite Temple, and this may be the opening Jeremy Wyatt needs
He's going for the
coronation. Oh, he backdrops Jeremy Wyatt out of it. Thor Terio almost got caught with that pile driver. And Jeremy Wyatt moves out of the way of Thor Terio, crashes into that turnbuckle. Oh, he just draped him over the top rope, and Jeremy Wyatt takes a nasty spill to the outside.
Strider there to check on him, making sure he can continue. You know they're coming up with a game plan right here.
Of course they are. What is Thor
Thor
Terio doing?
Bam.
He connects with Michael Strider and sends him into the security railing on the outside. Michael Strider took the whole brunt of that move there.
Deliberately taking a cheap shot on Michael Strider right there. That's the kind of man that you want to, as your Kansas City champion, a guy like Thor who hits a helpless manager.
Michael Strider deserved it. He was trying to get involved in the action once again, and he got what he deserved. Michael Strider needs to stay out of this match, and he could be going for the Ragnarok Gutbuster here. It could be it. He drives him right into the center of the ring. This could be it for Jeremy Wyatt. Cover 1, 2, 3.
He got him.
Thor Terio beats the Monarch Jeremy Wyatt in what some could consider an upset in the KC title tournament.
Well, if life was fair, they would have a return match. It seems to me that it's one-on-one right now, 1-to-1. Thor gets the victory here, but Wyatt's got one over on him. But Thor looks like he's going to advance in the tournament. This is an upset for sure. This is an outrage is what it is.
Make no mistake about it, this is not the last chapter. This is not the last fight we've seen between Thor Terio and Jeremy Wyatt. But what is important is Thor Terio advances to the next round of the KC title tournament.
Well, you hear a lot of folks cheering Thor Terio right now, but I bet you none louder than Major Bayston, because he got Michael Strider and Jeremy Wyatt out of the tournament. But listen, I know these two guys, and I think that you just awoke a sleeping giant. You thought these two guys were bad before. Now they're even more motivated. These two guys are upset. Major, this is going to be trouble for you. I can guarantee it. I'm not Nostradamus, but I know the future. It doesn't look good for anybody in the NWL when these two guys are upset. Thor, count your blessings. You got lucky, son.
Jeremy Wyatt and Michael Strider taste defeat at the hands of Thor Terio. Folks, we've had a great evening here tonight, and we hope to see you next time here on the National Wrestling League. Good night, everybody.